What is up, guys? So I was asked to do a full speed test and speaker test for all of the LG phones I've collected this year. I thought it would be fun, so let's go ahead and get started. Let me go ahead and just talk about these phones for a second. If you do want to see independent videos on these phones, I do have a ton of them on the channel, a ton of comparisons and stuff that I've done this year. Just type Matthews Tech, and whichever phone you want to see, you will see videos on them. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to try to go off the head here with the specs. We got the G7 here, Snapdragon 845, and it is 4 gigs of RAM, 855 on the G8, that is 6 gigs of RAM, 845 on the V35, that is also 6 gigs. 845, 6 gigs for V40, 855 on the V50, also 6 gigs, 865 on the V60, 8 gigs of RAM on that base model. And then we have the Stylo, which has the P35, and that one is 3 gigs of RAM. And then we have the Velvet, which has one of the most popular processors this year, the Snapdragon 765G, and this has 6 gigs of RAM. So let's go ahead and get started here. Obviously, I can't boot each phone up, so we're gonna try to, I guess, do it by threes. Try to do it the best we can. I don't even think, yeah. I mean, yeah, we can try to do it that way, I guess. All right, so we'll do these three first: the V60, Velvet, and Stylo 6. If I were you guys, the Stylo 6 takes forever to boot up, so do note that, as you're gonna see. I might not cut the video. I might like let it go. Let's try to get these all at once. 3, 2, 1. So, you know, the Stylo 6 processor, while using the phone for the past couple of days, it hasn't been a terrible experience. It does a job, but I'm telling you, this boot up is really long. You can see the Velvet got it there, the V60 right behind it. And then the Stylo 6 just takes a kind of a long time. Let me just get into these phones, I guess. Okay, we're in on the Stylo 6. It wasn't that bad. All right, next we got the V50, V40, and V35. Let's do these three. Oh, the V35, you have to do it. Well, hold on. Let's move that one, because the power button's on the back, so I can't do it like that. Okay, let's get them lined up. 3, 2, 1. See which one gets in first. Looks like the V35 might get it, or not the V35, the V40. Oh, the G8 got it there, V40. And then it looks like the V50 here. Now we'll do the G7 and the V35 here. 3, 2, 1. And it looks like, I don't know, they might be tied. And yeah, the V35 got it there, and the G7 right behind it. All right, so let's talk about the software situation. I think 2 of these phones are still on Android 9, and that would be the V35 and V40. It's because the carrier didn't push the update. I'm not sure why I haven't gotten it on these 2, but I have not. But the rest of them are on Android 10. The G7, G8, V50, V60, Stylo 6, and the Velvet are all on Android 10. Alright, so let's kick this off with the Geekbench test, so you can see these scores here. So nothing too shocking. You know, we see the V60 you know, with the dominant score here. Of course, it's going to have that because it's got the latest chipset. One of the things I've noticed is that the G8 kind of underperformed to the V50 here. And as you can see, the Velvet is slightly behind the G8 and the V50 as well. And the rest of the scores are pretty much on par with what you know, you would get here. What I do notice is that the V40 score is kind of low, 439. The V35 beat it somehow, even though they're both on Android 9. So that was kind of interesting, as you can see. So I wonder what's going on there. The G7, pretty consistent score here. It actually beat the V35 in multi-core, even though it has less RAM, but it's a bunch of numbers and stuff. So let's go ahead and see how this stuff performs in the real world. But let's go ahead and get started here. We're going to use Google Assistant and go ahead and launch Subway Surfer first. All applications have been cleared, of course. Open Subway Surfer. And we can see, oh, the V40 got it. Wait, that was way too fast. That was super fast. I could not keep up. It was this one, it was a G8 and then the V60, and then everybody else was kind of like a tie, and then we saw like the Stylo 6 was kind of, you know, taking a sweet time there. But yeah, you're gonna have to slow the video down there. I tried. That was just way too fast to keep up with. Alright, let's try another one of my favorite games, Temple Run 2. Let's go ahead and try that. Open Temple Run 2. And remember, keep your eye on the devices for me, or slow the video down. So we can see, it looks like V60 first, and then the G8, and then all the rest of them sort of fall in line. The Stylo 6 is like mad slow. It's now just booting in. So yeah, there we go. So not too bad. One of the things I'm sort of noticing here is that honestly the A45 chipset, the phones, and the A55 chipset isn't really a massive upgrade. Let's go ahead and try a social media application like Instagram. Open Instagram application. V60. I don't know, you guys have to let me know. And the Stylo 6, you can see kinda still taking its sweet time loading in. Okay, there it is. Alright, it's in. Open YouTube. The vibrations. Okay, pretty good. Alright, let's try a heavy game like Call of Duty Mobile. Open Call of Duty Mobile. Let's go ahead and see what that looks like. The V50 really fast right here. And the V60 surprisingly kind of choked up right there. And then we have the Stylo 6, of course, is, you know, always going to be dead last, but that wasn't too bad. I'm not sure why the V60 kind of choked right there. Alright, so let's actually check out these speakers. So if you want to know which is the best out of all of these, it is the V60. It's the loudest and just sounds amazing. It's one of the best speakers that came out this year in my opinion. But let's go ahead and compare the rest to the V60 and see which one sounds the best to that one. I'll start with the V60. They're all at max volume. Just really beautiful sound. You can hear the 808s, the kicks, everything is loud, no distortion, just really awesome. So I guess we'll start with the G7 and work our way down. Now the G7 speaker is really good for a single firing speaker. It sounds almost as close to the V60 in terms of quality. It's just not as nearly loud as the V60, but the G7 is one of my favorite single firing speakers. It's very, very loud. So let's go ahead and go with the G8 here. The G8 is louder than the G7, but it does not have that, I guess, thump that the G7 has, but it does sound really good. You can actually hear the 808s too with this one, but it is louder than the G7. Let's go ahead and hear the V35 here. Now, immediately, the V35 isn't as loud as the G8 or G7, and it sounds a little bit flat compared to these two. So it doesn't sound bad, just a little flat. It doesn't have the depth with the bass. Let's go to the V40. Now the V40 sounds pretty much on par with the G8. It has a really nice loud sound. It also keeps the depth with the bass. It doesn't have that flat sound. Sounds really good. Yeah, it's like on par with the G8 and G7 here. Let's go to the V50, which does have stereo speakers, but it's just this little tiny grill. It's really small. Now with the V50, even though it has stereo speakers, it just really does not sound too much different from the single firing V40 speaker, honestly. Yeah, it sounds almost exactly the same. Like the little speaker that they added just isn't enough. It's just really small. So again, let's go back to the V60. So you guys can hear the immediate difference of how loud it is and how crystal clear it is. You can hear the difference immediately if you get a chance to hear them in person. But let's go ahead with the Stylo, which has a stereo speakers actually. This one sounds on par with the V40 and V50, but it lacks a little bit of the bass as well, which is something that I noticed, but it's the loudness is there. It just lacks the depth with the bass. So that is the one thing I'm hearing there. And lastly, we have the Velvet, which does have stereo speakers, I believe. The Velvet is really close to the V60. It doesn't have the depth with the bass, but it's about as loud as the V60. Let me go back. Yeah, I think the Velvet would be the second best sounding speaker. It does have stereo speakers, and it sounds almost as close to the V60. It just lacks the bass sound with it, but very close. So it would be like the V60, then the Velvet, and then the rest of them are kind of on par with each other. It's not a huge difference with sound quality. The G7 does definitely have, in my opinion, my favorite or the best single firing speaker out of all of these phones too. Alright guys, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching this video. I'll be sure to list the cheapest prices for each phone in the description down below if you guys want to pick one up. And thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.